Thank you for joining us for our Builders Insurance Group powered by Appulate General Liability Submission Training video. If you have yet to complete the actions needed in the setup video, please do so prior to watching the remainder of this training video. Let's get started. Here's our record form that we're going to be working with today. There are two ways to get the information on the Accord form into Appulate so that you do not have to rekey any of the information when submitting to builders. The first way would be to open up your Accord form wherever it lives. Mine is on my desktop. Yours may be in an agency management system, and that is completely fine. If you remember from the setup video, I stated that Appulate is complementary to any agency management system. So open up your Accord form, locate the print button, and make sure that Appulate Uplink is in fact your destination printer driver. When you're ready, click print. Once you click print, you would then receive a pop-up in the middle of your screen asking you to validate your Appulate credential information. That's one way to use Appulate Uplink. The secondary way is a shortcut that many agents love, so I like to show it. Here's that same Accord form. I'm simply going to right-click with my mouse and select Uplink from the shortcut menu. We get the same exact pop-up from Appulate. If you have entered your Appulate credential information in the past, it will automatically populate. If this is the first time you're adding your credential information, go ahead and type that in. Once the info is in, we can then hit send. Appulate will automatically open. We will confirm the line of business that we want to work on, and then click the big blue continue button. This will bridge over all of the information from your Accord form and get it into Appulate so that you don't have to rekey any information. Next, we can add our market. To add Builders Insurance Group, we will click the plus sign under the Market Name section. If you take a look at my big orange cursor, you can see that it's near the left-hand side of the screen. Go ahead and click Add Market, and we're selecting Builders Insurance Group. We will then click Add Market. Builders Insurance Group has now populated. Let's go ahead and edit our limits. Let's click the default of 100,000, 100,000. We will change this to 1 million, 2 million. This is just per what we need for our submission. These are our insurance requirements. And I am going to update my deductibles to 1,000. Save and close. Now we're ready to bridge over the information from Appulate to Builders. Let's click the Submit button in the Actions column on the very far right-hand side of the screen. Momentarily, we're going to receive a new button that says Finish Submission. Once we receive that Finish Submission button, we can click Finish Submission. The Builder's website that you as the agent are already accustomed to working in will then start to populate. We will need to update the information presented on the screen as it is not duplicate to Appulate, so we will need to answer the question for commercial work as well as the nature of business. Then click Update, just as you would with any other builder submission. You can see when we get to the next screen, all of the duplicate information has been bridged over. However, we will still need to add a need by date, so please keep that in mind. We can add our need by date just as you're used to doing by clicking that calendar tool and adding the need by date desired. We will then click Next towards the bottom of the Builder screen. This will take us to our risk location section, just as you're accustomed to looking at in the Builder's website. As you can see, you do not have to enter the location information manually, as you previously have done in the past. Appulate will automatically populate this data for you. So we can simply click Next and move on to the optional coverage section of Builders Insurance Group's quoting platform. It will auto-populate the data as we see fit. If there's anything else that you need to change, please feel free. So for instance, I will edit the hired section. I will choose if any, and I will make that option 1 million. The reason I'm manually editing that information is because it was not duplicate to Appulate, but everything else, as you can see, has auto-populated. Let's continue the submission by clicking Next. This will take us to the Optional Coverage State section. It will auto-populate as it normally does. Again, please feel free to edit any information that you need. We can now move forward with clicking Next, as I'm not going to edit any information in this section. We're then taken to our risk information section. You can see that you no longer have to edit that information manually anymore. If you take a look at my big orange cursor there, kind of near the bottom of the screen, you'll be able to see the exposure in both sites. So now we will click Next. There's nothing more that we have to do here because Appulate populated the information directly into Builders. So let's move on to the Miscellaneous Endorsement section. If there's anything that you need to add here, please feel free. Otherwise, we can click Continue. This will then take you to your scheduled rating section where you are able to edit any debits or credits as you normally would. For the purposes of training, I'm not going to edit anything, but I do want to make sure that all agents know that you can still edit this debit and credit section as you need to. Appulate will not override that. Now we will click Next. Moving on to our estimated premium worksheet. Here is that estimated premium worksheet. It gives us the policy total near the bottom of the screen. You can then feel free to move forward to the Underwriting Questionnaire section by clicking Next. Anything that's duplicate, Appulate will automatically populate, but there are going to be specific questions that are not duplicate to Appulate in the Underwriting Questionnaire that you will need to add. So like the licensed contractor information, I'm just going to be adding some demo information today, answering the questions that need to be answered. So these actions of selecting yes or no based off of your insured's operation will function no differently like they did before because these are not duplicate in Appulate. So please make sure that you are not bypassing any underwriting questions. I'm going to add training test just as the information here. Moving forward to the next Underwriting Questionnaire section. Continuing to move forward with those underwriting questions, just as you normally would. And I'm just adding that we're doing a training test here. So this is no different than you would normally edit it. Information is staying the same. Now we've answered all of the underwriting questions. We will then click Next. Once we click Next, this is going to take us to our contact information screen. Any duplicate information will automatically be populated. We'll go ahead and add the sales receipts and the needed information by builders in terms of commercial work and rebuilt structures. We will continue by clicking Next. This is going to take us to the contact information section. Because I had a contact already on my Accord form, Appulate was able to bridge over that information again, so I don't have to rekey it, as well as the addresses. So we will continue by clicking Next to get to the payment plan section. For this specific example, we are going to stick with annual pay and then click Next because I would like to show you the summary. Once we get to the summary page, it's going to look exactly as it normally would look if you were going into the builder's website directly. The difference is, and as you could see, Appulate was able to turbocharge your submission process by bridging forward all of the information that was duplicate in Appulate. You will not have to rekey any duplicate information that Appulate contains into the Builder system. If you have any questions regarding the submission process, please feel free to email support@appulate.com. This concludes our training for today. Thank you very much and have a great day.